Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Red Square,
Touchdown.
what's a buckle for me friend them?
Touchdown.
For me dear.
Okay.
Yes.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of Music and Marriage. My name is Nikita. I am your host, and this is my co-host.
I'm like Red Square, and we're there again one more time.
One
more again. You don't know the greatest podcast out there right now, Music and Marriage Podcast. And today we have a special guest with us. You know what I mean? This Empress, I met her in the fields out there doing the work. You know what I mean? And you know, something mystical about her. I don't know what it was, but I felt like, you know, we this platform needed to, you know, have her as a guest. And Egypt is her name. See?
Peace and love, everyone.
Yes,
Thank you so much
Egypt.
for having me today, both of you. Yes.
Thank you very much for gracing our platform with your presence. We really do appreciate it. See?
Same way.
Yeah, man. Basically, I wanted to, before we get into the normal vibration and the flow of things, I wanted to just kind of ask you some questions, you know. What intrigued you about Jamaican culture?
Well, it's kind of been something that I've been exposed to my whole life. Like I was just telling Nikki, I was born in the U.S., grew up there.
Where in the U.S. where were you born?
I was born in Ohio. But I grew up between Nebraska, Arkansas, Arizona.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Arkansas. Arizona.
Yeah, those are the main three places. And
I said Arizona, the only place I hear.
All right,
I don't know about the others.
Before you go any further, right?
Yeah.
When a black person, right, mentions Nebraska, not so much Arkansas, because Arkansas you can understand.
Yeah.
But Nebraska is kind of a little bit more out there, you know, in the mind of all right then, let me speak for myself as a Caribbean, a person that comes from the Caribbean. Nebraska sounds like white people territory.
Which
Horses.
is true.
Open field, farm life.
Yeah.
What was life like for you in Nebraska?
Well, Nebraska was very boring. I never liked it growing up there.
Yeah.
But how I came to live there is my granny, my mom's mom, she migrated from the South, from Arkansas.
Okay.
And she married her husband, who was like a Native American man.
Yeah.
And they had babies there. So my mom was born there.
Your mom was born in Nebraska.
Yes. My father, born in Chicago, but his grandmother eventually moved to Omaha.
Okay.
That's how my mom and dad met.
Okay.
And then my mom was a flight attendant, so I was born in a different state, but that's how I ended up growing up in Nebraska.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what was there a stigma, or was there like a community of because you know everywhere you go there's black people, but was there like a huge community of black people, African Americans then, or Native Americans in where you grew up?
Well, yes, because I mostly grew up in the north side of Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska. So that's due to redlining. They put all the black people on that side.
Okay.
So that's where I grew up. My
Okay.
granny still lived there this day, north side. My mom and them, they moved out west, which is like white people's side. So eventually I did integrate.
Right.
And I ended up going to school out there. But for the most part, I grew up around black people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Omaha is a place where I have a lot of diversity. You have a lot of Mexican people. And recently, a lot of people from Vietnam, especially moving in the north side.
Okay.
A lot of people from India and a ton of people from Africa, Sudan.
See,
Ethiopia.
I mean, I'm not gonna speak for you, but I wouldn't know that there's a lot of diversity in Nebraska.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly in the major city, because I grew up in Omaha.
Yeah, and
Which
Omaha
is
is the capital, right?
Not the capital, but the
But the
biggest
major- the
city.
biggest city.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
the capital is Lincoln,
Lincoln. Okay.
which is a lot smaller and a lot less diversified.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely more white people live there. But since it's a university town, people from all over travel to go there for school.
Interesting.
But to answer your question about how I got connected to Jamaican culture, is my father always taught me about it. So I grew up vegetarian. I grew up with locks, listening to roots music. My father's a Rastaman.
Okay.
So that's how I got connected to it. And then,
So he's the one that was connected first to the whole Jamaican culture, or
Yes.
Rastafarian culture.
Is he Jamaican?
see, he was born in the U.S.
Okay.
So was his mom, but his father's side, which I recently come to learn, have Jamaican heritage.
Roots, okay.
But because of the situation, I'm trying to connect with those people to find out more. Because my father never grew up with his father.
Okay.
So there was kind of, and then his mom is dead, so I can't really connect with her.
Right.
So I'm actually working on bridging the gap
Yeah.
to find those roots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man,
But I
yeah.
just found that out, which I kind of felt my whole life, but I couldn't really say
Yeah.
Right.
You couldn't really connect it until now.
until now. Yes.
So the journey must have been an interesting one then. From, so you said the timeline is Nebraska, Arkansas, Arizona.
Yes.
Those three.
And
yeah,
then,
between those three.
And then what was that? What was the that thing that drew you now to be here now on
In
the island of
Jamaica.
Jamaica now?
But to tell you the truth, I was always interested, but I was more interested, like, I want to go to Africa. But something spiritual was like, come to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So I did. And then I just,
Can't leave.
I just did it.
So how long ago? How long ago was that? How long?
That was about 5 years.
ago.
5 years ago,
Wow.
when I
So
first
you've
started
been
coming
here.
to Jamaica. Yeah, but
So
I
you've
do
been
travel.
here
I
back
used
and
to
forth.
travel back and forth before this whole COVID thing. But since
Right.
COVID, I haven't been traveling.
Okay.
But yes, but it's like I started just connecting more and more, being here. And my journey been a very spiritual one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. And what is the biggest difference between Jamaica and don't give me the obvious ones. Give me something that you think it's more unique, in experience from maybe, let's say, Arkansas to Kingston.
Well, I would definitely say just the connection to nature and the tropical environment. Like, even though the South is more warm, I feel like this tropical environment have Jamaican people more connected to their African self.
Right.
And then also growing up with mostly black people out here in Jamaica, it just creates more of a different atmosphere for expression of yourself.
Right.
Over there, it's a lot of oppression of roots and culture, and especially as a black person, speaking your truth, talking how you talk and stuff. That's what I love about Jamaica, because people is more free to just express and be their true self. It's not a whole lot of oppression in that manner of oppression, how you talk and your roots and culture. I know there is still some stigma associated with patois and stuff like that, but I feel like it's more culturally accepted to just be you instead of having to twang and like talk like
be
somebody
something
else or
that
be
you're not,
somebody
yeah.
else to fit into society. You can still be like 100% roots and make it far in society. That's what I always kind of admired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About
since I
Jamaican culture.
Yes.
Yeah, man, for real. You know, it's it's your journeys. It's very it's quite interesting to me. You know.
Very interesting.
Yeah, man, because
When she said it to me earlier, I'm like, Arkansas, Arizona, Nebraska,
yeah.
Nebraska.
Right, that's what everybody always says.
Okay.
You're right, I always say Nebraska. Me too, sometimes I wonder, like, why I ever end up in Nebraska.
It's very interesting because I really, honestly, like, I never thought you would say, like, there's an actual community of, you know, African Americans living in Nebraska.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of weird to hear that and to know that there's, you know, we're building communities throughout the U.S.
Right.
Even in the land where we're not really so quote unquote, you know,
Yes.
expected or actually are there.
Right.
So it's definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to transition into, right, is your musical journey, right? First and foremost, how long have you been recording music professionally?
Professionally, I would say about the past 6 to 7 years. I started doing the more professional, like as an artist
Right.
and commercial. But before that, I have been kind of dabbling in music. I've been a part of a few bands
Yeah.
and playing instruments too.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice,
but
nice.
the professional voicing and such for the past 6 to 7 years.
Okay. What band? What is the name of the band that you?
I was with quite a few bands. I used to live in Seattle, Washington for 5 years too.
Okay.
Seattle.
Yes.
Another one is like Seattle. Well,
You been there?
Understand. Yeah, I can understand.
As I
Seattle.
said, the only place you said that I've been Arizona.
It's Arizona.
Yes. I haven't.
Seattle's actually a very nice
It's
place.
nice.
Yeah. The nature, just the kind of vibes. It's not as much sunshine, but like the environment.
Yeah, that's what I always
Yeah.
hear. It's like always
Yeah.
raining and damn.
And Seattle
is.
is more known for band music
Yeah.
too.
That's true. That's how I got
Band
involved in
bars.
some
Yeah.
bands. And I can't even, to be honest, I can't remember the name of the band. But they used to do like different kind of music, some rap. I kept kind of helped them bring a little reggae vibes. And they did like alternative style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't last long with them because we had creative differences.
Yeah, man.
But
Understood.
it was a good experience. We performed a few shows, and I did like some backup, and I even got to do my own song at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
you-
then,
So
sorry.
you've been dabbling and just getting the exposure and experience throughout the time.
Yeah. And it was good for me to like find my own voice and learn about what kind of performance I want to do as an artist.
Right.
And what kind of band I would like to work with, like musicians, type of music they play and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So what kind of instrument do you play?
Well, I play acoustic guitar,
Nice.
ukulele, and I used to dabble in piano. That was actually my first instrument, but I haven't really kept up with it.
Yeah.
But I've mostly been guitar and the ukulele.
Nice. Nice.
Interesting.
Nice. So you can give Nikita a few lessons.
Listen, when it comes to the singing, the instrument playing, that's not my forte. I wasn't blessed in that area, so I just leave that to those who are,
Yeah.
and just hold my own under the back.
Nothing wrong with a few lessons.
I know what you mean.
Come
Listen,
on.
even with a few lessons, I still won't be able to like. Instruments is just I'm fascinated by it. I love music, but for me to actually play the music,
Yeah.
that's just not. I could probably sing for you. And bust it,
Yeah, boss at all.
I mean, you want to come here? Go on your way.
Are you introduce it?
Go on your way. Stand. You want to come stand me right now?
Never that. Never that. Never that. Never that.
So yeah, let's get into the topic today.
Sure. What do you want to
Does
talk
love
about?
distract you from your goals? Like, what are your opinion on how do you feel like being career driven and wanting to achieve certain goals and get to certain levels in your life? Do you feel like you have to not focus on love, or you can focus on both of them at the same time and achieve both, or it has to be one or the other?
That's
Success
actually a very
or-
good question.
That is a great question.
You
Well-
want to take it first? Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I would say I think two perspectives from my own personal experience, especially like when I first came to Jamaica. I tried, the love thing, but I realized it did distract me a whole lot from focusing on
What you wanted
my
to do.
career. So after that relationship didn't work out, I changed my mindset, and I was like, I'm fully focusing on my career. So any type of like love interest that came after that, it's like if we not having similar life goals, or we taking this to like an area of longevity, it's not gonna take a lot of my energy
yeah.
because I have my life destiny for me, which is music, to focus on. So I decided not to let love be something that will take away from that, but only add to it. And so some people might see it as like I'm not putting enough energy into being in a relationship, but to me, it have to be worth it. Because I know what I have come to the earth to do, and I can't let a love relationship stop that. But if I meet someone and they want to enhance that, and I can enhance their life journey, and we have similar life goals, then I think the love could be beneficial and not distract me from it. But from my own personal experience, I did waste some time by being distracted by a love relationship.
But do you think it's time wasted, or was it a lesson learned from knowing that, okay, next time I won't do that, or, if I see certain signs, then I could, just know that it's going to be a distraction from early out? Because for me, I believe that it can distract you, and it can, throw you off your game, because once you're really in love, like, you're all into just that person, and it's just all about that person, and, creating that perfect life and the happiness. But, finding a career and being, having the two that are where you're gonna feel like you have to choose, I think it could both be done. Like, I think you can have love and you can have a career. Like, I feel like it's just about the focus of the person. Like, you just gotta know it. As you said, have that partner that's gonna be there to push you, forward with your goals and say, all right, you gotta get this done. You have things to do, whatever it is, career oriented that, you're gonna need to excel. They're gonna be able to help you with that.
Yes.
So it's definitely, I feel like it's half and half.
I agree.
It just depends on the person, and as you said, like having that right spouse to, to be able to help you in that direction where you need to go.
I don't know, because I feel like one thing should be able to lead into the next. So
Explain.
So if let's say for argument's sake, I love you, we love each other, right? We have love. And based upon what we have, right? We nurture it into a situation where it is not only physically beneficial but also mentally beneficial for me, and I'm also an artist as well. So now I'm in a comfortable space that in a relationship, in our relationship, I'm in a comfortable space. And because I'm in a comfortable space, I can create
more.
Right.
Because your
Without-
mind frame is not stress or anything
Right.
like that in that terms.
Right.
Okay.
So I feel like and
But it all boils down to, as she said again,
And-
finding
and
the right spouse.
the thing is,
Having that right person.
the thing though is that does not work vice versa, because I can be creating here, in my job, or whatever I want to do as an artist, but in a relationship, we still having trouble, So that is the interesting part for me. I feel like it is more important to handle what's happening relationship wise, and then when I find that comfort, then I can create, because companionship is important for me,
Yes, it is.
because people die of loneliness. You know what I mean? So for me to say, all right, me go put my
Your career.
my career in front of finding someone to spend to grow a family with, or something like that. It's not so straightforward for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand where you're coming from, because in essence, you definitely do have to make sure that, you achieve both. But at the same time, like, so what you're saying is you'll prefer love over a career?
In it has that the edge for me.
But then when you think
because
about it, but love can't feed you, love can't pay your
it
bills, love
cannot.
can't
But
do
what
certain
I'm
things like
saying
that.
is, even though I understand and agree with what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, if I'm comfortable in a space where there is love,
Mm-hmm.
then I can do anything. I can go out there and create.
That's true.
You understand what I mean? I say because
Understand.
love allows me now.
To do that, to give you that freedom.
Give me that freedom
free
to do
mind.
what I want to do in terms of creating and bringing in that bread that is necessary. See, because bringing in the bread shouldn't be something that I have to think about. It's not hard.
Yeah,
You know, we all have to eat. We all have to provide.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that is a given. And I feel like whether or not me have love,
It's still gonna.
I'm
have
still
to get
gonna
it,
go
but
out
you
there to
just
go
feel
provide.
like-
Yes.
You just feel like with the love, it gives it a bit. It enhances the
Of
career.
course,
It
of
enhances
course.
the joy that you're
Especially
gonna be given and the message and.
A person that is an artist. Because, you know, you have that harmony inside, no troubles. You can go outside and focus on your work. And you don't have to worry about what going on inside.
I guess.
Well, I agree with you because I have seen how being in a love relationship have inspired me with my creative process, especially when it's a good feeling, like you said, you're in a comfortable space.
Yeah.
But I've also had the experience where it was not good.
Terrible
in a
experience as well,
relationship.
right?
And that situation
It affected.
affected me a lot because my mind was occupied
And
with
then
this.
that's gonna throw you off your game.
It
to
did.
really create, to be in that creative space.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I did take a break from creating when I was in this relationship that wasn't going good to kind of introspect. And for some reason, especially for me as a woman, I felt like I was more impacted than the man was by the state of the
Mostly.
relationship. So even though it didn't work out with them, you're right. I did learn a lesson. So it necessarily wasn't time wasted because I even got to create music
Off of that
off of that
experience.
experience. Even when I was like having pain, I channeled the energy and transformed it into something creative, and I created an uplifting song
Yeah.
for others.
From the experience, exactly.
Yes.
And that's what I do respect about, you know, musicians and artists. Like they're able to create, like take a good or bad experience and, you know, put that into something where people can relate all over the world, even if they don't know what your reasoning behind making the
Right.
song is, you know. They
Yeah.
can just connect to it just because of the words and everything and how it's placed out.
Yes.
But
I mean, I definitely do feel like split on this one.
I don't know, man.
I feel like it's possible, but I feel like we should be able to attain both. Like, why is it that we have to choose? Why is it that we have to say,
because
okay, we
that
have
is
to-
the order of life.
Not necessarily. It's just the order of life, and I think this is just us as black people. Like, we have that in our mindset. Because when you think about the white man, he's not thinking about, okay, well, I can't have the Fortune 500 company. I can't have the white picket fence with the big house, and I can't have a wife. He's not thinking that.
That's true.
He's not limiting himself to say, okay, well, I can only have one or the other.
Right.
He's trying to get them all, and he gets them all.
Yeah.
So why is it that we can't have the same mindset as, okay, we have the career and we're gonna have the family as well? Why does it have to be either or?
That's true.
So I think it's also the mindset that we have, the mindset.
Yes, definitely.
where,
the
you know,
mindset.
we're just feeling like, okay, it's just limited. Like, why are we limiting you know,
Ourselves.
Ourselves and
Yes.
what it is that we can achieve. It's not only just, as I said, this or that. So that's something that we definitely got to think about. But it's interesting because I know a lot of people who are just like, okay, at this point in life, they don't want to find a relationship. They just want to be about, you know, the career.
Right.
But then
Yeah,
it's
but
like
then what about
you're
loneliness
gaining-
later down
that's-
the line?
I mentioned that as well, and I'm like, as well. Also, it's like you're worried about just that. You're not building a family. So when you get older, like, what are you
Who you
working
gonna share
for?
this
The
with?
legacy.
What is the purpose of you doing all of this?
Yes.
Because who's gonna be getting all of, you know, all of the hard work that you put in? Who's gonna be reaping the benefits from it when you're gone?
That's
You
true.
have no children. You have no spouse. The government, you working this hard your whole life for
Right.
the government to take everything that you achieve so much. You know,
Yeah, that's
like,
a real thing.
it's that's why I think about it. Like, is it that important to have the career over the family? like, is it really that serious? Because we have to remember, we are on a borrowed time. We're all on a
Yes.
clock. And we don't know when that clock is going to expire. So to just say, okay, career, not saying that you're not supposed to have ambition, because that's definitely necessary and that's definitely something that we all should have. You know, but we also have to think about, okay, we're going to have the family and we're going to have everything. We're going to have the
Right.
career, we're going to have the love, the happiness, and we're just going to, you know, have it all instead
Yeah.
of limitations.
Yes.
So it comes down to the mindset, basically.
Yeah, kind of. And then, you know, as you said, the spouse, the person that you're with, that's a major key. Because you don't
Yes.
want to, you know, make the right decisions with the wrong person.
Exactly.
So basically then, would you say that, well, I think you probably said it already, but is it because of this fear now of going into another relationship then? Would you say that you're more withdrawn now and more focused on just your music or just your work and you're, because it's in the back of your mind, you're not even thinking about having another interest. You know, how does that work? How difficult is that for you? Is it something that you want, or
are you a type of person that make one bad experience, like one bad apple spoil the whole bunch?
yeah?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because I like to just live my life with compassion for myself and others. So even if a relationship didn't work out, I know that there's still good people out there.
Yeah,
For
but
me,
you're saying, basically you said, sorry for cutting.
No, no, that's
but
fine.
Basically you're saying that because of the bad experience, it kind of more, you did introspection and started to focus more on your music.
Instead of the
And because of that, you've been doing, you know, better or well, you know, with your music. So how do you now turn that corner again and say, okay, this is going well, can I balance another relationship?
Focus on the relationship and
Yeah.
try to
How
balance
do
the
you do
both.
that? How would you approach this situation, a situation like that?
well, I feel like I've been approaching it like how much energy I'm willing to put into a relationship, based on how I see the person
Right.
moving as well. Like I have since tried, and you know, even now, I'm checking out my options, because to me, love and a family, that's like my top priority. But true, because of the past experience, I learned that I have to be very selective with who I even allow
In your
to be a
space,
candidate for
Yeah.
that. But I feel like since I haven't put all my focus on the family, and I kind of shifted my energy, my career was able to rise, and I feel like that's helping me to establish myself
Yes.
for when the right time job brings that king man to be, you know, my husband and the father of my children.
Right.
But I still always, like, every day think about, you know, finding that right person.
Right.
It's not that I haven't been in a relationship since then. I have, but it's sometimes seeing the level of commitment that the other person will have. So that kind of determines the type of energy. Because I wouldn't just put love to the side, but I just wanted to be like balanced
Yeah.
in
You
my
have to-
approach.
you have to match energy. Like whatever energy he's bringing, that's what you're bringing.
I understand totally,
Yes.
but the thing is now, Nikita, I just want to point out, because it took years for us to develop our relationship and foundation. It wasn't overnight,
Yeah.
you know, and we've been through many rocky roads, seeing to come to this point that we are now
Yeah.
in our relationship. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that happens for everyone. I don't know. Some
Because
people
not a
are
lot of
lucky
people-
and it
Not
just
a lot of
works right
people
away.
really want to put in that work and really try to fix the issues. It's just like, okay, once we have an issue, all right, pack up and I'm gone. I'm done. Next person. So the thing for me, like, what I kind of feel like kept us going is we both wanted to be with each other, even though, you know, despite whatever was going on both sides, like we still wanted to be together. We still
Yeah.
wanted that family unit with each other. So regardless of what happened throughout the time, we always tried to communicate and try to come back to that space where, all right, we're gonna fix things and make it work and just do what we have to do.
Yes.
So that's the thing I feel like a lot of people don't do. They don't want to do the work. It's
Yes.
just like, all right, you did something, all right, I'm over you, next person, because it's like the world is open up now where it's like we have such a easy option to choose.
You're right.
It's like you could like the pick of the litter, one here, one there, one there. If this don't work, that one.
Yes.
So it's just like it's hard for people to really focus and put their energy into something.
All right.
Even when they see that there's potential, it's just like, okay, I can't waste my time. I gotta go to the next thing, and then you move on. And then, as my grandmother always say, you pick until you pick shit. So it's like, you know, you just gotta know what you're doing, and if you feel like it's something that can work, put that work in. Communicate.
Right.
You know.
Do you feel like you have that time though to really balance everything?
It's all about, as I tell everyone, and I say this to people, because one thing I hate, like, is a pet peeve of mine when someone says, "Oh, I'm busy. I'm too busy." Don't tell me you're too busy.
Right.
You make time for what we
What
want to
you
make
want.
time for.
It's true.
You understand? We put things as priorities as we want to. So don't tell me, "Oh, I'm too busy to this. I'm too busy." No. So if I'm not priority, and you feel like you don't want to do something, I understand that. That's fine,
Right.
because that's what you want to do. You
Right.
choose to do what you want to do. But don't come and give me that, "Oh, I'm too busy, so I can't do this and I can't do that," and like.
Yeah. Then it's obviously not a priority.
Exactly. So for me, it's all about prioritizing.
Right.
That's all it is. If I feel like I need something done and I want to do something, I'm gonna get it done, and I'm gonna make that a priority for me to get it done.
Yeah.
So you wanting that family and wanting certain things, it has to be a priority. You have to make that, you know,
That's
the head thing on the to-do list, if you want to say that. And you know, you just have to work towards it. That's just
Right.
all it is. But people just full of damn excuses and just a whole bunch of shit, man. Just
It's true.
it's just unnecessary. Like,
Relationships are hard things.
it's definitely not
Yeah,
easy.
they're not easy at all.
Definitely not easy. And if you don't have the patience and the communication skills to really get you through certain things, like ignorance ain't gonna work, loudmouth is not gonna work, like all of those things are negatives in a relationship. Like
That's true.
communicating and just being a listener sometimes. Not
Yes.
speaking, just sitting and listening and just, you know, hearing what your partner needs, and then try your best to attend to those needs. And if you feel like you can and there's no resolution, then you do what you have to do.
Right.
But that effort has to be put in on both ends. It
So what
can't
is
be on one.
what is that time limit for you where you say this is not working out? It's time to move to the next.
Well, I usually like for example, like about a year. If I like am with someone for a year and I see it's not working out, then I
This is
say,
enough time.
yeah, because I did try.
Because within a year, you
Yeah.
probably can learn, you know, as much as you can about a person. You can get to know that person that well. So
Yeah,
I would agree with you on that.
yeah, and that's what I have been doing, like just giving myself that time. But I've even noticed, like how you asked about my career and stuff, like I had met some potential men in the States, but because of my career in music, I chose to come to Jamaica. But I also didn't see them like put in enough effort to say yes, they want to start a family, to make me say, okay, I will stay and
back,
start a
yeah.
family and work my music from there. But since I haven't got that, and I'm like a kind of old school woman, I don't really pursue a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm not picking up that energy from him, like he's going to step up and say, yes, I'm ready
Make
to
that
be
move,
the
it
man.
makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to sacrifice,
What
the
you're
moves that I
doing.
have to make. Yeah, for
I
that.
agree. I definitely agree with that. If he's not putting in that same energy, why are you giving it to him?
Exactly.
The same energy you give me, that's what I'm giving you. So
1 year is
it's
it's
a
good.
reasonable time to get to know someone, to get to know if you really want to be with them for the rest of your life or not.
Yeah,
That's a
start the
good enough
family
time
with
frame.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I definitely, and that's a good little topic.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode. Make sure you guys go and like, subscribe, share, and comment on this another episode of our podcast. Egypt, we're gonna let them know where to find you on social media so they can go over and check out the music. So
Yes, everybody can check me out on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the number 3, and GYPTSUN. So my name is Egypt, but I spell it with the number 3. And also I have a new single coming out April 30th called Black Woman. So you can check that out, stream it on all major digital platforms, and it will also be on YouTube.
Yes.
Alright. You shot a video for it already?
Not yet, but it's coming soon.
It's coming.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright, so make
nice,
sure you
nice.
guys go over to all her social media handles and check out
Check out that.
music from Egypt. We thank you so much for joining us today, Egypt. It
Thank
was
you.
great reasoning with you.
Yeah.
And we
Give
had
thanks for your
fun.
energies.
Yes, give thanks for the positive energy.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank-
both too.
And you're the first person I've ever met from Nebraska, so shout out to
Yeah.
you for that too.
Yes, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
thank
you.
You know, all our years living in the
I've never-
States, you know, we have never thought about going to Nebraska.
Never.
It's not really a place that you go.
Yeah.
And I think my people ended up there because it was a magic city
Yeah.
during migration times where you could go and get work. So
Okay.
people from the
Okay.
south moved
We're
there.
moving.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's kind of like a different energy when you're living on the East Coast compared to when you're living in the South,
Yeah.
closer to the Midwest, going in that side. You know,
Yeah.
things are. I realize
Totally different.
things are different.
Totally different. I
That's
can't
true.
imagine because I lived in Georgia for a couple of years. I'm back and forth still in Georgia. And Georgia sometimes to me it's like, oh Lord, the country.
Yeah.
Like, whoo wee, this is a bit much. Like,
Right.
howdy, partner. So I could imagine Nebraska.
Yes,
Like,
Nebraska is very
it's
country.
just mind blowing. Like,
Yes.
wow. Yeah, so thank you guys. Just let us know what you think about this episode of this podcast. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Music and Marriage. My name is Nikita. I am your host, and this is my co-host.
I'm Black Red Square. Give thanks for tuning in. Egypt,
Peace.
pick up
Yes.
yourself. You know.
Welcome,
Yes.
people.
Touchdown.
Love you.
Touchdown. Touchdown.
Red Scale.